Hi, I'm Matt Phinney and this is the Bad News Network. I'm covering for Nick tonight because he's neck deep in moving us out of this warehouse and into our swanky new downtown Durham office. So I can do anything I want! This week, hip-hop artist Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed near a clothing store that he owned in downtown LA. In a genre of music that can often be used to fuel aggression and violence, Nipsey Hussle was instead a voice of inspiration. He spoke out against rappers who would boast about gang affiliations just to look cool. Not because he wished them harm, but to dissuade many impressionable young people from going down the wrong path. Nipsey was scheduled to meet with LA Police Commissioner and the LAPD Chief of Police to discuss ways to stop gang violence. Nipsey had teamed up with many popular artists such as Snoop Dogg, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar, and was nominated for Best Rap Album at this year's Grammys. Nipsey Hussle was a true force of good and respected by every member of the hip-hop community. Thank you for what you did for hip-hop, thank you for what you did for your community, and rest in peace, sir. In what sounds like Florida news but is actually New York news, Corey Favreau was arrested after calling the cops to his house after he said somebody was breaking in through the attic. After searching the house, police were unable to find an intruder. They did, however, find a meth lab. After leaving and obtaining a warrant, police returned to find an even bigger meth lab. So not only did Favreau call the police on himself, but he also left his meth lab set up for the police to find, ensuring a quick trip to prison. He was charged with one count of manufacturing meth and another count of endangering the welfare of a child. I don't know how much prison time that amounts to, but you can do the math. In cyber-terrorism news, a Chinese woman was arrested after slipping through security checkpoints at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Initially, resort personnel granted her access, but later became suspicious and contacted the Secret Service. When she failed to give a valid explanation as to why she was there, she was then detained. They then found 4 cell phones, a laptop, an external hard drive, and a thumb drive with malicious malware on it. From here, it looks like some bottom-shelf espionage stunt. The danger was real, however, as those cell phones were old-school Nokias, and you can straight up beat somebody to death with those without scratching them. The New Zealand police estimated that there are about 1.2 million firearms in the entire country. Following the Christchurch terrorist attack, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced a sweeping gun ban involving buybacks and seizure initiatives. She aimed to remove the country's numerous guns from its citizens and usher forth a new era of utopian, gun-free New Zealand. Since Monday, 211 firearms have been turned into the police. That's a far cry from what the government expected. Not to mention that the buyback initiatives could cost the government 300 million New Zealand dollars, or about 200 million US dollars. This just proves one huge flaw in the let's just take everyone's guns agenda. Even if people who hate guns are able to pass laws that allow them to take other people's guns, these laws only work if those people then comply and are willing to give over their guns to the government. Which, with everyone standing together, they won't. So what do they do then? Go and buy a gun to threaten people with guns to then hand over their guns at gunpoint? I don't know the solution. But if I did know the solution, I wouldn't tell you. So to those people who want to confiscate other people's property because they think it's bad, I just wanted to say good luck. We're all counting on you. In Nazi news, a neo-Nazi named Jack Renshaw is on trial for plotting to kill a Labour Member of Parliament. To add to this rap sheet, he's also been found to be a pedophile guilty of grooming underage boys. The jury failed to reach a verdict on conspiracy to commit murder charges, despite Renshaw being a member of neo-Nazi hate group National Action, which we definitely did not see coming. Bernie Sanders has called for Congress to remove approval for Trump to have troops in Yemen. In addition to being super interesting because President Obama began this conflict and nobody had issues with it then, this would mark the first time in 56 years that Congress has actually done its job in regards to war powers. In Arkansas, 2 neighbors, Charles Ferris and Christopher Hicks, were arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault after police say they shot each other while wearing a bulletproof vest. Hicks shot Ferris first, who then got mad because it hurt. So Ferris then swapped the vest with Hicks and unloaded that magazine into his back. No attorneys have yet taken this case, but one anonymous attorney was quoted as saying, "Is this even America when 2 neighbors can't come together and share a cold beer and a few .22 long rifle rounds into the chest?" Prank trends have consistently driven viral content on social media platforms and have constantly been looking to one-up each other. The latest trend, called swatting, is the act of making a false police report in the hopes that the SWAT team shows up and kicks in some poor sap's door. It's super bright. And recently, a 17-year-old kid from Ohio is brought up on 40 felony charges and 38 misdemeanor delinquency charges. On top of that, a California guy is going to jail for 20 years because his prank call got a guy killed. There's a joke in here somewhere, but that's just dumb. Nancy Pelosi announced this week that the U.S. House of Representatives plans to sue to block Trump's appropriation of funds to the border wall. Pelosi said that Trump acted illegally by using an emergency declaration to garner money held up by Congress. This literally feels like children having a nuh-uh fight in the back of the minivan. This week, President Trump backed off his threat from last week about shutting down the U.S.-Mexico border. He instead added a different penalty should Mexico not try and stop illegal immigration and drug trafficking. In that case, the Trump tariff hammer will be brought down on their car exports to the U.S. Hellfire will rain down from the skies, babies will cry, and Trump will cry havoc and let slip the hogs of war. And finally, in Florida news, a 19-year-old Florida man is on trial for leaving a family outing at Duffy's Sports Grill in Jupiter, Florida, walking a few miles, killing a couple, and eating one of their faces. A forensic psychiatrist suggested that the man, Austin Haruf, suffers from psychiatric lycanthropy, or in non-sciencey terms, mental werewolfery. Initially, the presiding judge rejected an insanity claim from Harif's defense. However, after reviewing his psychiatric evaluation and reading witness testimony, the judge stated, yeah, that boy is bat crazy. And with that, I'm Matt Phinney, and this is the Bad News Network. Our news is at least as bad as the news you're getting already, and if you're in the infantry, you might not be a werewolf, but if you work hard enough, you might catch you a silver bullet.